Atheist Ireland supports Roopesh, who organised today's march, and we're also pleased that Roopesh, when we met him, was told that he supports Atheist Ireland's Schools Equality Pact. Now, what Atheist Ireland's Schools Equality Pact is, the acronym PACT stands for Patronage, Access, Curriculum and Teaching. And they're the four areas that need to be changed together if we were to have a fair education system that respects everybody's rights, religious and non-religious. This year we brought a school child and a parent and a teacher to meet with the Taoiseach and the Minister for Education to tell them at first hand their experiences of religious discrimination in the education system. One of the people at that meeting, Derek Walsh, a parent, told the Taoiseach and the Minister of his local school telling him that his child could not have access because he was a, quote, Category 2 child. And the Taoiseach and the Minister for Education apologised personally to Derek for that being said to him by the principal of that school. But they haven't changed the law. That apology has meant nothing to date. Atheist Ireland is now in the middle of a series of follow-up meetings with senior civil servants in the Department of Education, the Department of Justice, and also with the people within each of the political parties that are responsible for preparing their party election manifestos for the coming election. And we're trying to ensure that the principles enshrined in the Schools Equality Pact are reflected both in public policy and also in the election manifestos of the political parties. We're delighted to see the emergence of parents like Roopesh and Paddy and Nikki to join in their own contributions to this campaign, because it's only by working together that we're going to succeed in bringing about an education system that's fair to everybody. Atheist Ireland supports parents on a day-to-day basis who are dealing with religious discrimination in the education system. The most common complaint that we have is parents who have problems getting your children opted successfully out of religious instruction classes. Sometimes the schools will say they can't do it. Sometimes the schools will say, well, we can do it, but you'll have to come down and take your child out and take care of them yourself. Sometimes they'll say we can do it, but the child will still come home singing hymns and saying prayers. If you have that problem, contact Jane Donnelly at Atheist Ireland, humanrights@atheist.ie is her email address. We have 100% succeeded with every parent that has brought that complaint to us in terms of forcing those schools to back down, because you have a constitutional right to opt your child out of religious education, and they cannot get away with that particular form of discrimination. Now, can I say that that problem is going to get worse in the way the religious instruction classes are being formulated? Atheist Ireland just last week highlighted the new religious instruction lessons, Grow in Love, and the very disturbing message that they are teaching senior infants who are 6 years old about Mary saying yes while she was frightened and confused and not knowing what's happening. We have a prayer table now in each school under this new religious instruction formula. We have the Catholic Church trying to negotiate with the state that if there is divestment of some Catholic schools, that there should be a stronger Catholic ethos in the schools that are not divested. So we're running into a very, very serious problem in terms of the nature of the Catholic ethos in schools, and it's very important that you exercise your constitutional right to opt your child out of that religious discrimination. Atheist Ireland also campaigns, as well as helping parents on a day-to-day basis, we campaign for the political change that I've outlined in terms of the Schools Equality Pact. And schools equality is really, it's the most important political cause of our generation. And the government's current plans of divesting a small number of schools aren't going to solve the problem. Both because it's trading off divestment of some schools for a stronger Catholic ethos in the ones that aren't going to be divested, but also because even at maximum possible divestment, most areas are still only going to have one school in their locality, and that's a Catholic school. So most secular parents, even under maximum divestment, will still be left with not only one Catholic school, but a Catholic school with a stronger Catholic ethos that is currently there at the moment. Now, on all four areas of the Pact, Atheist Ireland has been making progress over the past few years. We've already succeeded, and we were there at all of the meetings that the UN Human Rights Committee and Economic and Social and Cultural Rights Committee, plus the Council of Europe, plus the OSCE, have been negotiating these conclusions to Ireland that they're breaching the human rights of non-religious parents. And we've also been the only group at those oversight meetings. Atheist Ireland has been the only group that has also been highlighting the plight of religious minorities in Ireland, both in terms of parents and also in terms of teachers. And we have ensured that the conclusions that were initially about discrimination against non-religious parents are also tackling discrimination against non-religious and minority faith parents. Domestically, on patronage and access, we've already got the Oireachtas Education Committee, when they were discussing the schools admissions bill, we've already got them to conclude that the patronage system itself, that multiple patronage and multiple ethos can lead to segregation and inequality in admissions, and that the purpose of an admissions policy should be inclusion and equality. That's a significant breakthrough, that the Oireachtas Education Committee has come up to that conclusion. Now, of course, the government are ignoring that, but it's still on record. If you go to the report of the Oireachtas Education Committee, we highlighted to them that this would be unacceptable in any other area of public service. If you went to your local hospital and they said, well, yeah, we can treat you, but we have to treat Catholic patients first, that would be outrageous. If you went to your local police and they thought, yeah, well, we've got to treat Catholic victims of crime first, that would be outrageous. It's the exact same with the school system. There is no reason whatsoever for the public school system, publicly funded, to be treated any differently than the other services. In terms of the curriculum, we've met with the NCCA and we've highlighted the need for the new ERB course, Educational Religion and Beliefs, which they're trying to bring into primary schools. We've insisted that there is an effective opt-out for non-religious and minority faith parents from that particular course if it doesn't meet human rights standards. Because what they have done in secondary level, and what we fear they will also do in primary level, is they will just merge this supposedly neutral course with the existing religious instruction course and tell parents that it's obligatory and that they can't opt out for it. We've ensured that they can't do that in secondary school. We've got to ensure that they can't do that also in primary school. On teaching, again, we're the only organisation, and this is disgraceful in terms of the teachers' unions, we're the only organisation that is campaigning at national and United Nations level for the rights of teachers to have equal access to jobs in their profession in publicly funded schools in Ireland. It is absolutely outrageous that you can train to be a teacher and be denied employment in over 96% of the publicly funded schools in our country. And finally, I just want to say one thing. Atheist Ireland is optimistic about progress. There's a lot to be done. It's a daunting task, but after years of chipping away at the political justifications that the government has been coming up with, they're now retreating to a Custer's last stand position of saying that they're constitutionally obliged to maintain this discrimination in order to buttress religion. Now, we don't agree with that. We have given them a list of a dozen different bodies that have a different opinion about that. But the very fact that they're retreating to that is significant. It shows that we're getting near the end game. And who would have thought 5 years ago that we would be the first country in the world to legislate by popular vote for marriage equality? We can be the same in terms of religious equality in schools. And I would encourage everybody here to support Roopesh, to support Paddy, to support Nicky, to support all of the people and organisations that are campaigning for equality in Irish schools. Thank you very much.